Okay, everyone, we're going to get started. Welcome back to the Wednesday night Likutei Moharan Chabura. It's great to be back. It's great to see everybody back. We are starting now with a big jump. We just finished. The last thing we were doing was Torah Chav Zayin 27, and we're jumping now up to Torah Nun Vav, Torah 56. And the reason why we are starting now at Torah 56 instead of continuing on to Torah 28 is because something amazing has been developing in the world over the last little while. And there's this fantastic organization called Kollel Torah Chaim. And it's Torah Chaim means the Torah of life or of the living. The idea behind this new amazing venture is to get as many people around the world learning Likutei Moharan in a very special way. And the way is that we are learning this Torah every single day. We're thinking about the Torah every single day. We're praying about the Torah. When we do mitzvahs, we're doing it from the place of this Torah. We're allowing this lesson to become part of our lives completely. And really to internalize it and to acquire it in a very deep way. So anyone who is part of this chabura that we learn on Wednesday nights is welcome to take on this method and to try to approach it in this way and to be connected every single day to the Torah and to the lesson. And there's a special way that we're learning it also. And we can make it, we can adjust the WhatsApp group to contain daily connective items and things like this. So I would like to hear from the group, maybe by private messages after the shiur, if people are interested to really, put more of an effort into learning Likutei Moharan and really connect on a deeper level. And if not, if you want to keep going the way we are now, I'm going to give the shiur, and it's probably going to be, it may be a little better because I have more time spending with the Torah. Sometimes it may be a little different, but I think we'll still be able to get the same that we got out of it up until now. So that's where we find ourselves right now at the beginning. So let's get going. Torah Nun Vav, Torah 56 in the Likutei Moharan. And here we go. Welcome, guys, welcome. If you want to get books from up there, it's the one that says 49 to 57. Okay, so this Torah begins. It happens to be that Rabbi Nachman gave this Torah over on Shavuos in the year 1805, 55, 65. And it begins with the discussion, with the pasuk that talks about the korbanos, the offerings that were brought on Shavuos. Happens to be also that later on the Torah is going to discuss Shavuos. Happens to be also even more amazing that we're going to be thick into the middle of this Torah when it comes Shavuos time. And in Mitzvah Hashem, it'll help to be able to make our Shavuos a little bit deeper and a little bit more connective. So it begins with the pasuk. Ubeyom habikurim v'hakrivchem mincha chadasha l'Hashem b'shvuosechem, and on the day of the first fruits, b'yom habikurim, when you are bringing close your new offering, or offering of newness, mincha chadasha l'Hashem b'shvuosechem, to Hashem on your Shavuos festival, right? Mikra kodesh yelachem, it should be a holy convocation to you, a calling of holiness. Kol melechas avoda lo yisasu, and you should not do any manner of work on this day. So to start off with, we have to know some interesting things over here. First of all, we can ask a few questions. Part of this way of learning is that we're going to try to look into the words of Rabbi Nachman very carefully. Part of the way of this learning now is that we want to be able to read the words of Rabbi Nachman and to be able to think, imagine, what is the Rebbe saying to me? What is Rabbi Nachman saying to me? How do I hear it? What's he saying to me? Because when I read the Torah of Rabbi Nachman, I'm going to hear something different than you are, and you're going to hear something different than another person. What does it say to us? So we're going to look at the words very carefully. We're not going to rush to explain everything, although we are going to, but we're going to try and look at the words. So first of all, what does the offering of first fruits and the mincha chadasha and the offering of new grain have to do with the concept of Shavuos? And what do we need to know about it? Right? The mincha chadasha offering, by the way, there's a halacha in the Torah that when we from the springtime, we're not allowed to eat the new wheat, the wheat that's called chadash, until after a certain time period, and that certain time period is when this mincha chadasha is brought. It's the first time that we're bringing as an offering wheat from the new crop of the year. And so you'll see that sometimes in kashrus, some people are careful to hold by this thing called yashan, right? Yashan means old, meaning we're still eating the old. We're careful to only eat the old wheat until we get to that right time.
Is there something about matzah with the old wheat or something?
Something about what?
Matzah and the shiur of matzah, the wheat has to be a certain age or something?
Not really over there because it's made before. It doesn't really apply by matzah, but yeah, okay. So there's something to do with the first fruits being brought over here, with the mincha chadasha, the offering of newness, right? And it's over here we're using the name Shavuos for the holiday of Shavuos, whereas we know that also in the Torah Shavuos is called by the name Atzeres. Why here are we using the name Shavuos? Right? It's very interesting. Yeah, it has to do with weeks, maybe. Okay, these are just things to think about. As we all know, the derech of Rabbi Nachman is he's going to start us off with a pasuk, and then he's going to go and tell us a lot of different bechinas, a lot of different aspects and concepts that are all going to link together. And then in the end, he's going to show us how everything was contained in this pasuk, or related, visible in this pasuk. So we'll leave that aside for now. I just want to point out something awesome to think about. The next part, when the Torah begins, he says, "Ki yesh b'chol echad miYisrael bechinas malchus," because there is to every individual from Yisrael, every Jew, an aspect of malchus. Every Jew has an aspect of malchus, right? Before we even talk about, this is going to take up our lives for the next many weeks, the concept of malchus. It's very, very important concept, and it's the central aspect of this whole entire Torah. But I want to point out that the Rebbe starts by saying over here, he quotes a pasuk and says, "Ki yesh b'chol echad miYisrael bechinas malchus." Every Jew has an aspect of malchus. It's as if he's saying to us, you see this pasuk that I just told you over here? And everything that's in this pasuk, whatever it means, why am I bringing this? Ki, because of that pasuk, ki, because it has to do with this idea that every Jew has an aspect of malchus. Let's just read a few more words, because there's going to be a lot of stuff that we discussed that's off the page over here. V'chol echad lefi bechinasai, and every individual, according to his own aspect, kein yesh le bechinas malchus. So too, he has an aspect of malchus. So the big question that we have to start off with is, what on earth is malchus? What does it mean? What does it mean that every Jew has malchus? What does the word mean? Let's just start talking. What do you got?
So to me, thinking of the lost princess, we have that piece of godliness within us.
Okay. Oh, very good. Sandra says, we have a chelek elikam imal inside us. We have a piece of godliness in us.
Kingship.
Very good. Kingship, says Alona.
No, we have a piece of God's soul.
We have a piece of God as part of our soul. Yeah, 100%.
I think it also implies a certain level of responsibility.
Oh, very good. Alona's saying responsibility. Very good. Leadership. Oh, these are all perfect words. So let's try to stay simple for a little bit, right? Yeah, light unto the nations. Good. Let's stay simple. Let's not give any divrei Torah yet. Let's just say malchus is Malchus is an aspect of authority, leadership. This is what what you guys already said, right? Meaning I have some type of influence, some type of authority, some type of power over something else, right? That is the aspect of authority within Malchus, right? Everybody agree with me on that one? Yeah. So it's true, but we have to also understand another point, which is going to take us a while to really figure out. But when we say the word malchus, we translate it as kingdom, kingship, both of those two things, kingdom, kingship, right? So we talk about the whole creation as being Hashem's malchus, right? If there's a king, a regular Basar V'Dam king, King Charles of England right now, he has a malchus. What is it? It's the Great Britain. I don't know. All of the what's it called? Us also, Commonwealth, right? I don't know what the whole thing's called. It used to be the Holy Roman Empire, right? I don't know how holy it was, but the the British Empire, right? The British Empire. But anyway, that doesn't matter. He is a king, and he has a malchus. Right? But he has the whole thing, the whole nation is the malchus. So you have the aspect of king in the nation, and you have the aspect of the nation in the nation. Right? As we know, the Zohar HaKadosh says that, this is a very, very deep concept that we won't get too much into. It'll probably come back a few times. But one of the reasons, we can't really ask, why did Hashem create everything? We can begin to ask this question after he created everything already. We can start to ask about this. But without getting too deep into it, the Zohar HaKadosh says, Ein melech b'lo am. You can't have a king without a nation, without people. Right? You heard me say this before, right? What do I always say when we talk about this? If I want to go out into the forest right now by myself and scream at the top of my lungs, I am the king of Toronto. Right? What am I? Am I king? I am a crazy person. I'm a lunatic. Why? Because I have no authority or no leadership if there's no am who's going to receive from me, who's going to accept my rule. Right? So not only authority and leadership, but there's also, it seems to be, there's an aspect of something to do with receiving. We always say in Kabbalah that the idea of malchus and the Rebbe Shalom is an idea of mashpia and makabel. The melech is a mashpia; he gives forth, right? And the malchus is makabel, the sphere of malchus, the lowest of all the 10 spheres, right? It receives everything. The Zohar HaKadosh says about the sphere of malchus, leis la megarmei klum. It has nothing of its own. Right? Rather, it receives from all of the other spheres. Right? It's the reception point and the revelation point of all of the other spheres. So it has the power. Whatever chesed is flows into it, it has. Whatever gevura flows into it, it has. So too with all of the spheres. But they all go into malchus. Malchus is a receiver. So the first thing that comes to our mind when we talk about malchus is what we all said. I have a sphere of influence. I have a sphere of power and authority, right? But there's also an aspect of receiving in the malchus, right? Seems like there's both. Yeah, what do you got?
So those words are very masculine to me. The malchus is feminine. You know that. It's the feminine side. Shabbat is the malchus.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is the wife, right? We married him.
Malchus is the princess.
The princess.
Right?
Yeah, like so.
Yeah. Muna, Shabbos.
A very male
Right.
connotation versus.
Right. So it's more like what we're saying. The melech, the king, is the mashpia, is the authority, is the let's say giver, right? Is the what else do we say? Authority, the leader, right? All these things, and the malchus is the receiver in a certain way. So we see there's more to malchus than seems to meet the eye. At least we can say that to begin with, right? By the way, it's going to take us weeks, maybe a couple months to before we fully we fully grasp everything that we're talking about here, and it all comes clear, right? We're going to build this step by step. We're going to build our understanding. So our job right now is to have our minds open and to be ready to listen very carefully to the words what Rabbi Nachman is trying to tell us, right? These are two aspects. I want to throw something really, really crazy your way now. And this one's serious. This one is an aspect that starts a lot of arguments. But I want everybody to just think about it. We don't need to discuss it too much. We said that the Zohar HaKadosh says, this concept of Ein Melech B'loi Am. You can't have a king without a nation, right? So, does the king receive something from the nation?
Tax.
Besides taxes. Let's just say, for example, we're looking at it in a very black and white way, that the king aspect of malchus is mashpia, is giving forth, and the malchus aspect of malchus is receiving from the mashpia, is the makabel, right? Does the mashpia receive anything from the makabel?
Recognition, honor,
Awe, fear, respect.
Okay,
gratitude.
let's say even without those. Let's say those don't exist, right?
Oh.
Well, he has a
Gratitude?
So let's remember for a second. Why is the Zohar HaKadosh telling us this? The Zohar HaKadosh is telling us this in the context of the very beginning and purpose of creation. This is very, very difficult things to understand, and it's a little bit dangerous, so we have to keep our minds straight, right? But the Zohar HaKadosh is telling us, why did Hashem create everything? Because Ein Melech B'loi Am.
That's what I said. He
Right?
has an audience.
An audience.
Relationship?
Okay, good. So let's say it like this. Maybe we could say that the mashpia gets from the makabel the opportunity and ability to give.
Right.
And if there's no am, if there's no nation, or if there's no makabel, there's no receiver, right? It's almost as if we could say, I'm just throwing this out there, that the makabel gives something to the mashpia before the mashpia gives anything to her.
Sorry, what's Mishpia again?
Mashpia is the giver and makabel is the receiver. It's almost like the receiver gives something to the giver before the giver can give anything to the receiver.
So you give the opportunity.
Because he can't even begin to have that role, right? So there's some aspect of giving, there's some aspect of receiving, and there's some aspect of the general malchus itself, of the whole system, seems to be, I would say, right? Yep. So this is a lot to think about, a lot. Let's keep going. Another aspect over here, that we can think about, this is already getting onto some divrei Torah, but we know that in the Kabbalistic system, by the way, if you see me looking in a funny way over here, I'm missing my usual stand for the recording device, so I have some big contraption up here holding up the thing, and I have to look through a hole in it to see the people here. It's okay, it's fine. So another aspect is, we know Kabbalistically, everybody who comes to these shiurim knows, we talk about this a lot, that malchus, and we just talked about it, malchus is the place where all of the other siros are expressed through. It's the receiver of all of those other things, right? And what is that? It's all very fine and dandy. It sounds like we're talking about, engineering, or some kind of chart, right? But what does it really mean? It means that the will of Hashem is fulfilled in the malchus. Everything comes through all of those channels, the different aspects and different types of traits and different types of powers come into existence, into the malchus, through the power of malchus, right? So it's an idea to think about that Reb Chaim Kramer brings over here, to say that means that to whichever extent each person is able to, through their deeds, to develop their own aspect of malchus, so too they are actually drawing the divine will. They're drawing the power of Hashem. They're drawing the shefa into the world through my own relationship with Hashem in this way, right? Me activating myself in the way that we're talking about it here, I'm doing my part to draw the Ratzon Hashem, the Koiches of Hashem, the Shefa into the world, right? This is why we do mitzvahs. We're doing mitzvahs to make a kesher, to draw the Shefa into the world. Okay, we only read 2 sentences so far. So let's go a little bit farther. The next thing that Rabbi Nachman says, so we said everyone has a bichin of malchus, an aspect of malchus. And according to each person's bechina, so too they have this aspect of malchus. Yeshehu soirer bebeisoi. There is such a person who's soirer bebeisoi. Soirer means to sort of rule or have authority. Bebeisoi means his house. There's such a person who rules over his house. Are those words ringing in anybody's ear from any place in particular? Rule your roost, good. I mean, from a Tanakh perspective, right? If we remember in Megillas Esther, at the beginning, in the big banquet that Achashverosh threw, right, where all the Jews came right, so Haman stood up and said, "I suggest, King Achashverosh, that we should make a new law in the land, and the law is that every man should have absolute power in his house." In his own house, right? Kol ish yesor b'beisai. Right? This is what he said. This was Haman's big idea. So what do we call Haman? Haman HaRasha. We don't think of Haman as a good guy. Every time we hear his name, we boo and make noise, right? So, what on earth is Rabbi Nachman bringing those words for over here? Yeah, right? He's telling us now. He's going to tell us 3 things. Let me say the 3 things first. Yeshehu Sar Bebeser, there's such a person who has a authority in his house. V'yeshehu Moishel Beyoser, there's such a person who has authority over more. V'chein Yeshehu Moishel Al Kol Ha'olam. And so too, there's such a person who has authority over the whole world. Each person according to the aspect of malchus that they have. So he's going to tell us these are different levels. So Rabbi Nachman is trying to tell us there's multiple different levels of malchus, but he's giving us 3 main categories. Why on earth is he choosing the weird, ridiculous decree that Haman HaRasha wanted to institute into the world as his way of telling us that this is the first level? Sir Rebbe, right? Haman was not doing this for a good reason. In fact, it's brought down over there that Haman did it because he did not have authority in his own household. His wife Zeresh was ruled over him very strongly. So he stood up in that banquet and said, he was the power-hungry Haman. Let's make a decree. And so that's why right afterwards the king brought out Vashti. Said, "Okay, bring out Vashti. Let's show them who's boss." Why are we bringing this over here? We're talking about creating and building the malchus of Hashem. Why are we talking about this crazy idea of Haman HaRasha and evoking the situation, the story over there with Achashverosh bringing out Vashti? These power-hungry, crazy people, evil people, and we're bringing it over here. Good question, right? Let's see. You're going to have to hang on to that one. Okay. V'yeshehu Moishel b'yoser, that he rules over more. V'chein yeshehu Moishel b'kol ha'olam. So what are we talking about over here? We know that there are different levels of, let's just say, simple understanding. Some people, they have a level of malchus in their house, if they're lucky. Right? And some people, maybe they work in a business where they're high up in the business. They're the boss, or they're a supervisor. They have leadership over people. Maybe other people have, their leadership reigns further for other reasons. Maybe they're a teacher. Maybe they're a rabbi. Maybe they're a what's it called? Yeah, or a mayor or an MP. Yeah, CEO for sure, right? CEO. Department head. I don't know, right? You have in Canada, we have our members of parliament, right? I think in America they have the House of Representatives, ringing a bell in my ear. I'm not an expert on that stuff, right? But And I saw that Reb Chaim Kramer brings down over here that we see that there were different people who ruled essentially over the whole world, right? Achav, Nebuchadnezzar, and Achashverosh. Remember, those 127 provinces was everything. Right? He really ruled over the whole, yeah. So there is such a thing, yeah. But for some reason, Rabbi Nachman wants to tell us this. Why? I still don't really know. Is it possible? Another thing that should be crossing our mind: is it possible to expand our malchus? Right? We're saying right now, you have someone who's serve a Beisai. They run their household. Does that mean that that's it? That's the person? Can that change?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can it? Yeah. So their bechina has to change. As we said, according to their bechina, according to their personal aspect, whatever that really means, so too will be their malchus. So there's no what's it called? Glass ceiling for malchus. I can keep going. I would add over here. We all remember that Rabbi Nachman told us, right, that everybody could be. He said, "Kamoni mamish." You could be just like me. Don't think, he said, that just because I was born into this family, direct descendant of the Baal Shem Tov, and his students on both sides, don't think that that's why I was able to do what I did. He said, every single one of you has the ability to be kamoni mamish, exactly like me. Right?
Where we are in the story with the time.
Right. Tom's on his way up. Yeah. Right? So I don't know. Yeah, what's the aspect of the person? That's the question. What does it mean? Every person according to their bechina, according to their aspect, they have a bechina of malchus, an aspect of malchus, right? We'll keep going. We're going to get there. That these are the things we have to build to understand, to really get to the right understanding. And the last thing in this paragraph, bebechinos. Like the aspect that we see, he's bringing now a pasuk from Sefer Shmos. Sari lafim, sari meis, sari chamishim, sari asaris. The officers of thousands, officers of hundreds, officers of 50s, and officers of 10s. This is going on when Yisro came to Moshe Rabbeinu, and he saw that Moshe Rabbeinu didn't have enough time and ability to judge all the people properly. Everyone was coming to Moshe Rabbeinu with questions and with monetary cases, and these cases, damages and everything, and he had to adjudicate and give answers to the whole nation, all 6 million people over there, right? 6 million? 600,000? 14 million? Whatever. Large amount of people, a whole nation. and so what did he do? Yisro came along and said to Moshe Rabbeinu, I have an idea, I think you should do this. You should appoint officers to lead over thousands of people, groups of thousands, and 50s and hundreds and 50s and 10s. And Rashi explains over there that the thousands officers would appoint the hundreds officers, and hundreds officers would appoint the 50s officers, and the 50s officers would appoint the 10s. So essentially, he set up some type of pyramid scheme in a positive way over here, that there's a chain of malchus, and Moshe Rabbeinu is at the top, and then you have various different levels going down. Right? Pyramid is one word you can use. You could also maybe use what? You could also maybe use the example of a tree.
Feudal system?
Right? Yeah. There's something like that. You have a trunk, right, that supports the whole tree. Then you have bigger branches, and then off those branches go smaller branches and leaves and seeds and whatever, right?
But can I say, in what you were just giving that example,
Yeah.
the organizational thing in the business, it's actually the people at the bottom, the malchus, who are the foundational pieces who support the top.
Okay.
Because it's going this way, and they are the strongest pieces giving that support to the one at the top.
Ein melech below am. Right? Yeah, you gotta have. I hear. Okay. So now, once again, why are we bringing a pasuk out of the middle of the Torah over here? That just he could have just said, there's all different levels of malchus, and you could have 10,000, 500. He didn't have to use any specific numbers, but he certainly didn't have to bring a verse, a pasuk, right? So what's that pasuk for? We're going to come back to it. Okay, everybody with me still? Okay, now we're going to take this to a whole different place now. The next part. Ubechinas malchus azois sheish b'chol echad. And this aspect of malchus, these aspects of malchus that there is by every individual, hi be'isgalia u be'iskasia. It is in the revealed world, and it's in the revealed realm and in the hidden realm. Be'isgalia, hainu al-memshala sheish l'chol echad lafi b'chinasai. This, in the revealed realm, we're talking about the memshala, the leadership, the rule that each person has, according to their particular bechina aspect, their particular individuality, I guess. I don't know how to say that word. Shehu moishel al elu ha'anashim b'isgalia. He rules over these certain people b'isgalia, in the revealed realm. It's an Aramaic word, by the way. I don't know why. Kefi b'chinas ha'malchus shalai. According to that's what the malchus that he has. Okay, that's Pashat Pshat. That's the simple understanding that we all are understanding, right? Uveskasia, but in the hidden realm and in the hidden realm, kigam yesh kol echad lafi bechinasai bechinas malchus biskasia. Every individual also has, according to their personal particular bechina aspect, an aspect of malchus in the hidden realm also, the concealed realm. Dainu. She'af be'isgalia nira she'ein lo shum memshala al elu anashim, even though that in the revealed realm it doesn't seem like this person has any leadership, rulership over these other people, right? Al im kol zeh biskasia ubehelem gadol. Even so, in the hidden realm and in a tremendous concealment, hu moishal al elu hanashim. He rules over these people, these other people. Why? Ki nishmasam hem tachtav v'nichnaim tachtav. Because their souls are underneath his, are lower, I guess, than his soul, and they are subdued under him. Right? Gam zoysa bechina shal malchus beskasia. Also, this aspect of malchus that is in the hidden realm, it also goes according to it's also according to their each to their individual aspect bechina. Like we said over here with that same pasuk of the officers of thousands, hundreds, fifties, and tens. He's bringing that pasuk again. So it seems to be over here that we're saying something very new over here. This that we've been talking about so far seems like we've been referring to what's called the malchus bisgalia, the revealed aspect of malchus that we have. And that means we look around the world and we see, right, that you're a department head, let's say, right? Or you're a teacher, you're a business person, whatever you are. You have a household that you run. We can look and we can see in the real world that you are the boss over here. Or you have influence over here. Or you have power over here, right? So that's what we see. That means that we see that you have influence over people. But he's saying now that there's another aspect of malchus, and it really has nothing to do with what we see in the revealed realm. And not only that, it sounds like as if I see it in the revealed realm, and so I know you have rulership over these people. We're talking about different people and something completely different in the Alma Diskasia, in the hidden realm, right? Because otherwise it would just say you also have rulership in the hidden realm over those same people. But we're saying over here, there's people that you have no connection to in the revealed world. But still somehow you have a malchus over them in the concealed realm. Right? Very, very interesting. What? That is a great question. How on earth does that work? And he says, and it doesn't have anything to do with, like, right, in the malchus disgalia, the revealed realm, we might think, you know why I have malchus in this realm? Because, I don't know, I'm a father. I'm a husband and a father. So in my house, I'm the melech. That's really funny. Okay. Or, let's say a person is very smart, or very strong, or has a lot of money, or has a lot of skills. This is going to propel them, theoretically, into a place of malchus and leadership and rulership, right? Yes, Andrew?
Is this assuming everything is static? Because we know everything is not static.
What do you mean by
I
static?
can have that role right now, and then I go through an experience where Hashem is going to say, "Oh, you're very arrogant right now, so I'm going to knock you down."
Okay, let's hold off for that. Let's just say simple understanding. A guy, someone who has something we see in the world, just their whatever leadership they have, right? So it's connected to something about them, right? Usually, if you have a person who's very timid with no skills and no power, no nothing, they're not going to have a lot of influence in the world, right? Unless, if they do, it's because they do have some kind of hidden skills or something that come out, and you see, like some computer people that change the entire universe, right? Even though they weren't necessarily the most authoritative people, they become it, because of what? They have something, right? But we're saying over here, he says the words, why do you have malchus over other people that you maybe are not even connected to in the hidden realm? Only for the reason that their souls are below your soul. And they're nichna'im, they are subdued, humbled to your soul. So it sounds like he's saying there's something to do with our souls. Our souls have something like levels. Right? Something like that one soul can be above others.
But isn't it interspersed and very dynamic? I mean, you may have strength in rabbinical studies, you have strength in computers.
Right.
So the relationship is, a two-way street.
Yeah. Great, 100%. And it's a good point. Like it's not, we're explaining it in a very linear way, but in the real world, you could have someone who is both, and depending on, in some places he's the melech, in some places he's the am, some places he's the giver, some places he's the receiver, various different places. And so this is what he's saying. We all have different levels of this, but the one that's in the hidden realm that has to do with our soul, there's something about our souls that souls are in some type of hierarchy, right? So we could germinate and think about this for a long time and think about what we don't know about. But I'll tell you that Reb Chaim brings down over here, Reb Chaim Kramer, and we've seen this before in numerous places. I was going to go get a sefer that talks about this, but I didn't have time. In the Kabbalistic writings in particular, right? We have this concept, I'm sure you've heard of before, of Tzaddik Yesod Olam. Tzaddik is the foundation of the world, let's say. Tzaddik Yesod Olam. Or I'm sure you've heard the Tzaddik Emes, the true Tzaddik. The Tzaddik Hador, the Tzaddik of the generation. Right? So in some of the real holy writings, I'll get the actual sefer for next year. But we say, it says that Tzaddik exists within the pipeline. He lives in the pipeline where all Shefa comes into the universe. And nothing comes into the universe that doesn't go through the Tzaddik Yesod Olam. That's why it's called Yesod Olam. Right? And this is why, so Moshe Rabbeinu, this is why the Torah had to come through Moshe Rabbeinu. Hashem wanted it. Yeah, you remember what Korach said? Korach said, hey, wait a second. We're all holy. We don't need to have Kohanim. We don't need just you, Moshe. Right? We were all at Har Sinai. What's the big deal? We're all holy. Let us all receive. And what was one of his main mistakes? That's not what Hashem wants. That's not the way it works. Right? You have a Moshe Rabbeinu, and everything comes through Moshe Rabbeinu. That's what Hashem wants. Right? You see this. It plays out spiritually and physically by Yosef HaTzadik. One of the best examples, right? Yosef HaTzadik goes down to Egypt, and not only is he the Tzaddik Emes of the time, the Tzaddik Hador, right, standing in that pipe, but the Torah shows it to us in the revealed realm also. He is the one, he's the mashbir. He provided sustenance for the whole known world at the time. Right? He set up the system to save all the grain from and storehouses and give it out and the whole financial system. And so Paro essentially put him in charge of the universe, of the whole known world at the time. Right? So you have such a thing. But spiritually, the holy books say that the tzaddik, everything comes through that tzaddik. Meaning that the tzaddik Hador is at the top. And we are all connected underneath the tzaddik Hador somehow. And if you look deeper into these writings, especially into the Shar HaGagulim of the Arizal, you'll see that there's other tzaddikim also. And they are, they're like, the reason I use the example of the tree.
They're like limbs.
You have the trunk of the tree, which is like the tzaddik Hador. And you'll have big branches, right? And these big branches are other tzaddikim, holy people. And then there'll be the other branches that come off of them, and other branches that come off of them. There's a big hierarchy of souls, it seems like.
So when you get this the sensitivity of hierarchy within the souls, it's really hard to even define a soul within yourself.
This like we're saying, this we don't know this. This is biskasia. It's hidden, and we don't even know that this is happening. Rabbi Nachman says in another place, we're going to see it later also. He says it's possible that in the hidden realm, our soul is connected to another person, and they could be in Italy. And I do something over here in my life, something good, I do something to bring light into the world, and it arouses that person to do tshuva on the other side of the world. Because I have a connection to them in the realm that's hidden. It's not, this is what he's saying over here, there's a malchus disgalia, where we look in the world and I can see I have authority over different people, and I know them, and I can see them with my eyes. He's saying there's something deep and hidden also. We know that we don't only live in the physical world. The physical world is the last of many, many, many universes, many, many, many worlds. There's a lot hidden behind this world of confusion and darkness, and in those places, our souls are connected in a different way. A different way from the way I see the souls that I'm connected to here. Right? And it could be on the other side of the world, and it could be who knows what, and it could be that someone, very much so. Rabbi Nachman talks about his own aspect of authority in the world in it's brought down in Likutei Moharan, which is in the English book of BRI called Tzaddik. And he says, Rabbi Nachman said about himself, I have very little influence, power in the world. And even that power that I do have in the world, that influence that I do have in the world, there's a lot of people trying to take it away and trying to pull it down, and people, against him and everything.
Sorry,
but
the physical world?
Yeah, in the revealed world.
In the revealed world.
Yeah,
right.
he had very little.
World.
We're talking about both. But in the spiritual world, he was the tzaddik emes. He was changing things in the universe and changing the world and been mevatel decrees and this and that and lifting people up. He said, actually, it's interesting, Rebbe Nachman said, same thing in Likutei Moharan, he said about Likutei Moharan, that if he didn't write Likutei Moharan, if he had an idea that he wanted to write instead a sefer that had to do with halacha. And, but it came out this way. And he said, if he didn't write Likutei Moharan, history would have unfolded differently in the world. Meaning there was a hidden, in the Alma Discassia, there's something else going on, not just what we see in front of our eyes. That's what we're saying over here. So we have to start thinking to ourselves, why? Who cares? Right? Why do we need to know this? What does it have to do with there's something hidden, there's something revealed? What does that mean to me?
Good question.
Good question. So let's keep going. We're getting a lot of questions, not a lot of answers yet. It's the first shiur of this. By the way, we're going to be learning this until at least Tu B'Av is the plan. Tu B'Av is like 4 more months, I think. Yeah. I mean, it's not unusual for us to learn the Torah for 4 months, but it's long also, so we'll see. Okay, let's go a little bit weiter. V'yesh echad shebesgalia ein le shum memshala. We kind of already spoke about this, but there could be such a person that in the revealed realm, he has no rule whatsoever. This is what I was just kind of alluding to about Rebbe Nachman himself. You can have such a person. He has no visible rulership in the revealed world, but even so, in a really concealed, hidden place, he really has rule over the whole generation. Va'afilu al kol tzadikei hador, and even ruling over all of the bigger tzaddikim of the generation, which is what we kind of been talking about. Ki chol nishmaisehem hem kulam tachas memshalta malchusai, because all of their souls they are all underneath his memshala, his rule, and his malchus. V'chulam nichnoim ukafufim elav, and they are all subdued, humbled to him, and bent over to him. Rak shehu behelam gadol, just that this is in a tremendous concealment. Bebechinais, now listen to this. Bebechinais, Menachem brings a proof from a pasuk in Malachi. It says, B'chol makam muktar u'mugash l'shmi. The verses are talking over there about the bad practices of idol worshippers and sacrifices to idols and this and that, right? And the words say, in every place, muktar, they're making their incense offerings and their other offerings to my name. Right? So, what does this mean over here? What do you mean they're making their offerings to my name, says Hashem? They're doing Avodah Zarah. Right? They're doing it to the statues and everything. Why are they doing it to me? So, the simple understanding here, what the proof is coming to tell us, is that let's read. Even though they are serving idol worship, avodah zarah, but in the hidden realm, in a tremendous concealment, they are all subdued before Hashem, and they're actually serving Hashem. Meaning what? This is telling us that we can't forget, really everything is Hashem. Everything is Hashem. There's no such thing as evil doesn't exist. It's hard to even say that we exist. Right? Everything in the universe is all the oneness of Hashem. And the deeper we get into the deep Torah, the more and more and more we see this. Right? However, we're saying over here that in that place, what they don't realize is that really they have no control. Really they have nothing. Everything that they do is all Hashem. It's all Hashem in a certain sense. That's one way to look at it. So somewhere, really, really way deep down there, it's really, and this is one of the things we're going to get to, one of the main things, it's really the malchus of Hashem. Oh, they're doing Avodah Zarah, they think they're actually doing something, they have no clue. Right? Really, on the deepest level, everything in existence is serving Hashem. Everything in existence is part of the malchus of Hashem. Right? It reminds me of Rav Kook in the Ores HaTshuva. Rav Kook has this beautiful, beautiful idea, and he says that everything in the universe is all moving towards Teshuvah. Everything in the universe is moving towards Hashem, is moving towards oneness. And it doesn't look like it, right? You don't see it. And crazy things happen, right? Crazy things happen, but you see, something. This is very Rav Kookian, very Rav Kookish. But, like you see what's going on out there in the world today, right? And it doesn't feel like it's good. Right? And for the most part, it's not. Right? But Rav Kook would tell you, but you know what's happening also? Is there's something in these people that is demanding that things are not right and things need to be fixed. There's something there, deep down inside, really, really, really hidden, that people, they don't realize that this is what they're doing. They think they're fighting for one issue, and they're selfish, and they're entitled, and they're this, and they're whatever they are, right? But really, behelam gadol, it's really everyone, everything in the universe, every rock, every stone, every flow of water, every person, every idea is all moving towards the oneness of Hashem, which is what's going to be, right? And it's happening. It's a little bit off topic, but so over here, the Metzudas David says over there that when they're doing, he has a little bit of a simpler understanding. When they're serving their idols, when they're serving Avodah Zarah, really their kavana is, their intention is that they're bringing these sacrifices to the Saba of all of their idols. right? Like they recognize to a certain extent that there's something higher, and deeper. But they do it in this way, right? They're doing it wrong. But in the hidden realm, somehow very, very deep, very, very hidden, everything is serving Hashem. Everything is part of the malchus, right? So what's he doing over here with this proof? On a simple level, it seems to be that he's just telling us that there's things that are going on under the surface, and it looks to be the opposite when we see it in the revealed realm. But in the hidden realm, it could be completely different. Just like it looks like there's people who are powerful and malchustic, and they're a melech in this world. But really, in the hidden realm, they're nothing. Right? He actually hasn't said that specifically yet. But the other way around, he for sure said. You could have a person who appears to be nothing special in this world. Doesn't have any power over anybody. But really, when it comes to rulership and strength and power and influence and everything, but really under the surface, they are everything, the whole generation is underneath them somehow. Yeah.
Is your dialogue assuming that the hidden realm is managed at the highest level by a tzaddik, or could it be some other individual who's a shmendrik? Like, where is this coming from? Everybody's got a soul.
Yeah.
And who knows who's on first?
Right. So this is what we're saying. This is what we're bringing from
I'm trying to understand,
this is what we're bringing from the holy Kabbalistic books. The holy Kabbalistic books tell us this, that there's a super tzaddik who always is, the soul of the super tzaddik is always existing. The tzaddik is always in existence.
Okay.
Right? And everything comes through that soul. That soul's on the top. And so too, they also tell us that underneath that tzaddik is other tzaddikim. Why are we calling them tzaddikim? It's not an abstract term. We're talking about people that their souls are so high and so spiritually lofty and connected that they are above and they're closer to the Rebbe Shalom.
But the physical being of those people should be humble and whatever, no?
Physically, in the revealed world, absolutely. So I'll give you a great example. You know, one of the biggest tzaddikim that we always like to talk about is the holy Reb Zusha of Anapoli. Right? You had the two brothers, the Noam Elimelech, and Reb Zusha was his brother. And the Noam Elimelech was like, he's such a tzaddik that even Lubavitchers talk about him. Usually they only talk about Lubavitchers, but Lubavitchers like to talk about Noam Elimelech and the Berditchever particularly a lot, right? But Reb Zusha was like the top tzaddik of the generation. His brother, the Noam Elimelech, felt that he was higher than him, that the Reb Zusha was higher than him. And what did Reb Zusha look like in this world? He had terrible skin afflictions. He was extremely poor. He had nothing. Him and his brother, he didn't have to dress up so much, but his brother would dress up. They would dress up as poor people, and they would go wandering from town to town and never telling anybody who they are. Nothing. Everything totally, completely hidden. To the extent that there's a famous story that someone came. I think it was the person came to the Noam Elimelech. This is Rabbi Elimelech of Lezhensk, and came to him and was complaining about all of his tsuris, all of the things he's suffering with, right? And all of the problems with money and his family, whatever. So he said, you know what, I'm not really the guy who can help you with this. You need to go and speak to Reb Zusha. So he sent him to go to Reb Zusha's house, and he went and he looked in the window, and he saw this guy here. He's like living in abject poverty.
10 children,
nothing, and he's poor, and he's got these terrible lesions on his skin, like and he's like, wow, I guess this guy must know something about suffering. So maybe this will be the guy to help me. So he knocks on the door, and he welcomes him in to the house. And I'm paraphrasing the story. There's more details, but and he says to him, the Noam Elimelech sent me here because I'm been complaining about my suffering, and he said you could teach me how to get rid of my suffering. So what was Reb Zusha's answer to him?
I'm not suffering.
His answer was, why would he send you to me? I don't know anything about suffering. I have everything I need. right? A lot of lessons to learn from that story. A lot of different lessons to learn from that story. But right now, the lesson that we're learning from that story is that there was a revealed Reb Zusha who lived in a abject poverty and did not have sharara or was not moshel. These are all different words of power and authority. Or was not a melech over anybody in the revealed world. But Alma Diskasia, he was the top of the top, right? Maybe one or two of them were up there. I don't know, right? So this is what we're saying. Yeah, that the revealed world is not necessarily a reflection of what is in the concealed world. On the other hand, at least in the Jewish world, you would take someone like the Lubavitcher Rebbe, right? And you'd say that even in the revealed world, he had a significant aspect of leadership and power, and he spoke to world leaders, and many people came to him, right? In very many ways, he was like a melech. Okay, on the world stage, he wasn't like it was still hidden. He wasn't like a leader of a country that the whole world would recognize. Okay, but he had a lot. You see a lot of people have like this, and they're very, very holy. And very few people would dispute that the Lubavitcher Rebbe was not the tzaddik hador of the last generation, right? And he also had some in the revealed. But we're saying that it's not. They don't have to equal. It could be something totally different. One of the aspects that we'll just leave with, something to think about, because there's a lot of stuff that's up in the air, and God willing, we'll begin to bring them down to reality and be able to understand them a little bit. But I want to suggest. I want to read the first line of the next part, and then suggest something that we should think about. The first line of Siv Beis says, "V'tzarich kol echad." Now that we've talked about all this, every individual. So we just said everyone has malchus, and to some extent, and there's revealed malchus and there's hidden malchus, and they don't always go together. And really, everything is part of the malchus. It sounds like we're saying. Right, to some level, on a deep level, but we have a hidden malchus and we have a revealed malchus. So we have a malchus. Menachem is telling us every Jew has an aspect of malchus, and we already understand from our little bit of Kabbalistic understanding that we have. That means that we have an aspect of us that is gonna be the force that draws something into the world. So, who said the word? I think it was Alona that said it. The word responsibility. Right? One aspect of malchus is responsibility. So maybe we could begin to say, you said it, not me, but I think you're right, that we have, going along with that, now that we have this, and we believe in God, and we believe in the Torah, that's part of everything over here, that we have a responsibility to use it. We have to do malchus. We have to take our malchus and we have to do something with it, right? So, based on that, Rabbi Nachman continues, and tzarich kol echad, every individual needs not to use that malchus that they have according to their own bechina for their own gratification and needs. Right? Now that I know I have this, and now that I know it's something that Hashem has given to me and that I have to use and I have to do my part, I have a responsibility, right? Oh, now he's telling us, careful. Because you can, this is not something that, like Sandra said, it's not static. You don't have a malchus and then it's just, that's what you have done. You can use this malchus, you can use it in the wrong way, you can destroy it. Right? You can tear it down. And we know from many other times that we've spoken, there's the malchus to kedusha, which is what we've been talking about up until now. But there's also the malchus to sitra achra, and that's the malchus of the evil side. And I can do things in the world that give strength to either side, right? But to begin with, I have to make sure that I'm not using it for my own gratification and my own needs. Lots to talk about over here. I can't use it for my own needs at all. So I can't. Oh, that's a good word. Sandra said the word to serve, which is a good word. But I can't use it for my own needs. What? So if I have a certain amount of malchus, I'm serving Hashem. I'm trying to do a good job. I can't use. If I have a whole organization. Let's say that the rabbi of a shul gets paid. Not like in this shul. Let's say the rabbi of a shul gets paid right? He's not allowed to take money and then to buy clothing and food and stuff that he needs. He's using his malchus, right? I can't take care of my own needs while I'm serving Hashem. What's wrong with that? We have to think about that. We said you can't use it. You can't use your malchus lahanasa for your gratification or for your needs.
So what if it's elevating the kedusha?
Maybe. This one I'm throwing out there, and until next time. But one thing I want to throw out there that's going to come. It's going to come up later. Is there seems to be something about taking malchus and revealing it in the world, right? Revealing what we are able to reveal in the world, and we're going to see that later on. But we have iskasia, we have isgalia, we have hidden, we have revealed, we all have it. We have some type of responsibility. We want to be part of the malchus of Hashem throughout this whole thing, right? And we want to build the malchus. We want to do good things with our malchus. First thing Rabbi Nachman is telling us how to do it is don't use it for your own gratification and your own needs. This would be what we begin to discuss next week.
Sorry, which malchus? The revealed malchus or the spiritual malchus? Because you don't know how to use it.
That's a great question. I can only speak to the revealed malchus.
Yeah.
I assume that's what we're referring to here. Yeah.
Well, everybody uses it for their own needs by default. I mean, if you're
Right? That's the question. I agree with you.
right? CEOs make a couple of bucks more than the employees underneath them.
Yep. 100%.
So are they doing something wrong?
That's exactly the question. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this yet because that's going to be a lot of our discussion next week.
We're gonna come back next
But yeah,
Oh no!
100%.
Those episodes.
Anyone else have anything else to bring to the table over here from online?
Yeah, I have a question.
1 second. Is that Alyssa? Hold on. Let me turn the volume up. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead, Alyssa.
Did you said that the Rav Nachman mentioned that he kind of changed the direction of the world by writing Likutei Moharan?
Seems to be
I hope
said something like that. Yeah.
So was it did it affect the world in a better way, or
I would assume so.
so it could have been worse than a Holocaust, God forbid?
I do not have the ability to say yes or no to that. Sorry. I have no
No one
idea.
knows.
I don't know what it changed and how things unfolded differently, but I'll tell you one thing for sure, is that things in the world, when you have the Torah of Rabbi Nachman, things are very different and things are changing rapidly in the world, and they're more and more lining up with the Torah of Rabbi Nachman, and things are coming out more and more like this. So let's hang on and let's keep maybe this is something we can keep our eyes open to see how things happen.
I have one more question. Someone asked if they can affect they're saying, are they using the revealed or the concealed
Yeah.
part of so can we actually have anything over the concealed? I mean, can we actually affect it? I don't want to say affect it by doing misses, we can, but can we get in there and actually change things?
So it seems to be what we see from, and we're going to see it soon when we get to the third section of this Torah. But also, Rabbi Nachman speaks about this in a few other places. That we definitely do have things we do affect the hidden realm and affect all those other souls that are connected to us, like Carmel is saying over here, energetically, nishmatically. That's soul, like on a soul level.
No, but we can't go in there and change things like a chess game, right?
Yeah, like
Or
we don't.
can we?
It's hidden. We don't. At least on my level, we don't get to go in and see what's going on there. I know that the tzaddikim are able to go up into higher levels of perception, and into the higher realms, and maybe you're asking the wrong guy. Maybe they have some ability to do that, but not until for sure I can say. Not until anyone gets into those elevated levels of existence are we able to see anything that's going on in there. And even then, I don't know really what happens. So that's just, things that we've heard. Yeah, Chandra.
So just on that point,
Yeah.
like you've taught us that we can do something very small in the revealed world.
Yeah.
That has a very large
Oh, yeah.
impact in the
Yes.
hidden world. So
Yes.
I'm not sure it's a chess
Oh, that's a
game.
great point.
So I don't think
actually.
that we actually need to worry about that. I think it's more we should like focus on the goodness of what we can do here. We know that it has a larger impact.
Very good, 100%. Yeah.
So
What is this called? Tamimus pshitus. This is to be a tam.
right.
It's to just do good things, right? Within my own ability, we could really bring this aspect of malchus into the chacham and tam discussion also,
Yeah.
right? The tam is just he's happy to work in his malchus and to do the things he's supposed to do, and to make his shoes and this and and in his house he does what he does and that's it. That's all he does. Whereas the chacham is always looking to like expand his malchus and always looking to build himself up. It's always for his own gratification and his own ego. That's gratification. His own ego and his own right. It's literally what we're saying not to do. Over here is what the chacham is doing all the time in the chacham and tam story. Yeah, 100%.
And it's
Very
also
good.
tied into the Emunah and the Kafan.
For sure, 100%, 100%. Yeah. Because if you have emunah, then you realize I'm right. A good king has to take care of his malchus, right? But if he's looking to be here and to be there and to be there, he's not taking care of his own malchus. Yeah, very good. Oh, Carmela's really on here with some good phrasing. Difference between doing and being. Very good. Remember, we said this at the beginning of the Lost Princess, shiur way back when. That if the 6 sons are the aspect of doing, then the princess is being, right? Yeah. So very good. Okay, guys. Shleich. Once again, just most people were not here when we started because everyone came in very late. That's me giving some up from the top down suggestions. Anyway, just kidding. But we said at the beginning that this is the beginning of this new pathway. So in this new way to learn, the main thing is to be connected to the Torah that we're learning every single day, and to have some connection to it every day, and to learn it in a very deep way. Where once again we're listening to the words of Rebbe Nachman. What is he saying to me? I'm being very careful in his words and trying to understand what does the Rebbe say to me, because it says something different to you and you and you and me. We all, the Rebbe is talking to us all in a unique way. To be very careful with all the words and the flow and everything, and to spend time and to pray about this Torah, right? As we know, we have the Likutei Tefillas, which is a prayers written based on these lessons. The lesson that we're learning should be in our tefillas. It should be in our hisboidus. Everywhere we go now, this is going to happen to you, I promise. You're going to be somewhere tomorrow, and you're going to start thinking, wow, how is this connected to my malchus? Right? What's going on over here? A quick just example of this, just so like to get on the same thought process. I was having this like real heated discussion on Shabbos with a certain person about this thing that we started to talk about, but I didn't want to get into, about that the king receives something from the nation. The king needs something. So do we say then that Hashem needs us? It's a fine point. It's something very difficult, and you have to be ready to have a good conversation to understand. Anyway, point being, we're not getting into it. But point being, we were having a very spirited conversation about this, and it's a machlokes l'shem shamayim, right? And a disagreement for the sake of heaven, which is going to come up in this Torah also as an important point. And we started going at it, and it was going good, very good, nice. Machlokes l'shem shamayim. We're both just want to get the MS, and it's going great, it's great. And then started saying a few things, and I felt myself starting to be like, what? I got to nail this guy down. I got to win this argument. I started to feel these feelings, right? And then it clicked to me. I was like, whoa, that is called l'hanasoi l'tzarkoi. That's for your own gratification now. Time to get out. You're not going in the right direction. And I right away started thinking, you know what I'm doing now? I'm doing what Rabbi Nachman just told me not to do. Right? And we're going to see this everywhere we look.
That's how you learn.
We're going to see malchus. So this is what I'm issuing an invite out there. I don't expect everybody to do this. But if anybody is interested to really turn Torah Nun Vav into your life for the next 4 months, and to really make everything you do about it, and to connect to it on the deepest level and understand every step on a very, very deep level, then there's other things going on. There's other groups that are learning in that way, and just private message me if you want to get involved on a much, much deeper level. If not, we're still going to have our regular classes, and they'll probably be better because I have more time spending on them, and we'll have a lot to discuss, and it'll still go, basically the way we've always been doing it. Mitzvah Hashem. Certainly, we'll say very clearly and publicly, and we're not covering up. We're not saying anything that's not absolutely true. That the infinite Creator, the Atzmus of the Ein Sof, if you want to use Kabbalistic terms, does not need anything and cannot be given anything. And we have the way Kabbalah refers to God is that we, on this level, is that we can't even have any perception, understanding of Him whatsoever. We can't even talk about God on that level. We have no clue. Our puny, finite existence does not have the ability to even begin to fathom the tiniest drop of anything about the essence of God. So I hope that's clear enough of an idea as to how to approach this from the beginning. Now, as we grow in our spirituality and our understandings of things, we can now ask questions after creation has already occurred. How did Hashem set up the system? And what does He want us to experience within that system? But that's for another day, God willing. Everyone have a great week.